The Arch of Titus sits in Rome and was erected to welcome the general Titus, Roman general who destroyed the temple in Jerusalem, the Jewish temple in Jerusalem. It depicts some Jewish captives hauling the golden candelabra, the menorah, from the temple, which is part of the loot that the Romans looted and brought back to Rome. It was erected before Titus arrived back in Rome, and doesn't depict it exactly as we have the tradition of the menorah, but although it's a sad memory of the destruction of a temple, it also shows us the history of the Jewish people, the history of the menorah. In this week's Torah reading, we read about this candelabra. We read about the commandment that God gave Moses to tell his brother Aaron to kindle the menorah in the temple. It was a golden candelabra with 7 branches. There was a middle branch, and there were 6 branches that came off it. It was supposed to be made out of one chunk of gold, one piece of gold. It says when Moses was commanded how to make the menorah, he had much difficulty. He couldn't understand how to make it. So God told him to throw a chunk of gold into the fire, and out came this beautiful golden candelabra, ornate candelabra with 7 branches, menorah. Why was it so important to have the menorah made out of one piece of gold? Why couldn't you just put together, build it like you would build any other beautiful candelabra? What was the emphasis to be made up, hammered out of one piece of gold? So the 7 branches of the menorah represent, as the Kabbalah speaks, about the 7 types of emotions that we have, which teaches us about 7 ways of serving God. 7 ways that we can connect to God emotionally, with chesed, with gevura, tiferet, netzach, hod, yisod, and malchut. And each one of us represents a group of Jews who primarily serve God through love, through awe, and so on. And that's why it's so important to have the menorah made out of one piece of gold, because although we have diversity, and although it's very important in Judaism to have the individuality, each one of us has our own particular way of serving, and yet it only works if we realize that we're hewn out of one solid piece. When we have that unity and we're strong with that unity, then we could emphasize also that diversity. They come together. And as we read in the story of lighting of the menorah, kindling the menorah, God tells Moses to tell Aaron not just to kindle the menorah, but biha'alotecha, to elevate the flame. And our sages say God told Moses to tell Aaron to make sure that he puts enough fire that the flame continues to burn on its own. And that's a message for us also. We have candles within us, we have fire within us, and each one of us has a soul that has a fire, and we have a mitzvah of kindling our own fire and the fire of others. And when we kindle the other people's fire, we have to make sure that we give them enough inspiration that they could shine brightly and then become a candle and a flame on their own. Not just to touch a fire to it and inspire them, but to keep it there, nurture it and nourish it, so that it too could become a flame for others. Where we continue shining brightly and elevating and inspiring others. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.